morning and welcome to the porch. This is a place to where we come to just talk about different subjects that might help people, might enhance people's lives and their ability to make decisions about life. We have a subject this morning that I really like, and it's probably on the level of importance, it's probably pretty high. And the reason I say that is because it's long-term life-changing. And the benefits of understanding it are not to be underestimated. Anyway, having said that, the subject that we're going to talk about today is relationships, the people that you have in your life, and what that really means. There's a couple of things to know and understand about relationships, and one of them is this, and I'm going to use a quote from one of the old Stoic philosophers. Now, I don't remember whether it was Seneca or Marcus Aurelius or maybe one of the others, but at any rate, they say that you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang around the most, and that's pretty important to know. Now, the second thing is in relationships, relationships have to be a two-way street. And we're going to touch on both of these ideals as we go. But let's back up to the first one, that we are the sum total of the 5 people we hang around the most. You ever heard the expression that, well, that person just got in a bad crowd? Well, that holds very true. And I'm trying to get situated here where the sun's not hitting me right in the face. But anyway, this is very true. When you're around people, whether you like it or not, they will influence you. They will change the way you think. Hold on just a minute. We're going to resituate this camera just a little bit. Okay, maybe that'll help a little bit. But anyway, it's a good thing for us to think about, what is it that we want to be in life? Where do we want to go in life? And then asking that question, then we have to ask ourselves this: are the people that we hang around right now, are they going to influence us in that direction? Are they going to help us to be what we want to be in life? Is that relationship going to help us align with our goals in life? Back years ago, I wish I'd known this years ago. Back in my teens, late teens and early 20s would have been a good time to know and understand this, but I didn't. And so I hung around with the wrong crowds. And basically, one day I got to looking at these crowds, and some of these people were almost twice my age. And I got to looking at their lives, and they were drinkers and partiers, okay? And I got to asking myself, is that really what I want to be, what they are? Because some of them had developed, from the drinking problems, they'd developed a lot of really bad social things. And then on the physical side of it, they were having physical problems. And then on the financial side of it, they were having those problems as well. And as I looked at that, and I didn't really know how to analyze these things, but I was doing the best I could. I looked at it and I said, man, that's where I'm going. I could see that plainly. And I asked myself, is this really where you want to go? Is this really what you want to be? And my answer to that was absolutely not. So I started changing the people that I hung around. It wasn't that I was mad at those people or anything else. It's just that those relationships weren't lining up with where I wanted to be as a human being. So I started moving away from that. Now, you may have people in your life that you're looking at and you're asking yourself, is that really what I want to be? Do I really want to be influenced by them? Well, if not, let me give you a little recommendation. Don't just burn bridges and cut off relationships instantly unless they're so bad that you really need to. But start moving away from those relationships and start looking at people that will add value to your life. And do that slowly and with a lot of discernment and wisdom. Now, let's go to the second thing we talked about. Relationships are a two-way street. And here's what I mean by that. If you're in a relationship that's one-sided, you are very much so in a wrong relationship. You're in a relationship that has no value to you. Now, you may think, well, man, that seems awful selfish to want that relationship to have value to me. Well, as I said, it's a two-way street. It doesn't just have to have value to you. You have to add value to that relationship. And so if it's not a two-way street, whoever the other guy is, if you're not adding value to that person's relationship, then they need to start thinking about maybe you're not the person they need to be hanging around with, okay? So let me go into a few things that are in my own personal life that help me. I have a friend that I have a relationship with. We have breakfast about once, maybe twice a week sometimes. And I always look forward to having breakfast with this friend because our relationship is very much a two-way relationship. He has a lot of things going on in his life, a lot of projects, and I do too. And we're interested in what the other guy's doing, and it's a genuine thing with us. And we talk about our projects back and forth, and try to give each other equal time in those conversations. We provide ourselves as a sounding board, and that's a good thing. And we give good, honest feedback, and we learn from each other, and we encourage each other. And this is one of the best relationships that I've ever had because of that. And I almost get giddy when it's time for us to go have breakfast or something because I got some ideas I want to run by my friend, and I want to hear what he's doing. I want to get the latest updates on what he's doing, and I'm excited about it. I really am excited about what he's doing, and he is about what I'm doing, and that is a good relationship right there. It's a healthy relationship. Now, you're not going to have lots and lots of these because you just don't find that quality in people anymore. This old world we live in is everybody demands their own way. I deserve this. I deserve that. And they like to hear the term, well, you deserve. Well, you deserve it if you've earned it. But now, if you haven't earned it, you don't deserve it. And we just got a world that thinks everybody's entitled. So if you have a relationship with somebody that thinks they're entitled to your time and maybe in some cases your finances, but they don't want to do anything in return for you, well, they don't deserve anything from you. You need to probably end that relationship. And that takes us to actually the third part of this thing is I touched on it at the start of this video, but the third part of this thing is removing relationships out of your life that you don't need. Now, again, it's not selfish to look for good relationships. That's wisdom. And so just keep it, at the forefront of your mind that it's just a smart thing to do. So when you start removing a relationship, this is something that we can't be too exhaustive on, though it could be. And understand this about these talks we have on the porch here is these talks are summaries. They're not exhaustive by no means. And I wish we could make them exhaustive, but you could spend hours on some of these subjects. But anyway, as you start trying to end a relationship, there are different personalities involved. The best thing to do to stay on the right side of this is consider that person's emotions and feelings and try to phase that relationship out slowly with a lot of care, a lot of love, and a lot of respect. Now, maybe they don't respect you, but that doesn't let you off the hook. You need to respect them because that's the right thing to do. So you start moving away from those relationships, and you may say, well, boy, I got one so bad that I just need to get out of it. Well, if it's really bad, and some relationships are almost dangerous, but if it's really, really bad, I would say that would justify breaking it off abruptly if you need to. I wouldn't recommend that, but if you need to, you need to. I had a relationship, and it's been in the far past, and as a friend, that every time he drove up in the yard, I'd just get a pit in my stomach. I just, man, I felt bad, and I just thought, man, just run your day when he drove up. You don't need that relationship. And I remember one day I just walked out there and I met him at his truck, and I told him, I said, you know, I love you and we've been friends a long time, but I'm just going to have to tell you something. Uh, your drinking is a problem, and I don't want it around my home anymore. And I'm going to ask you to leave, and I'm going to ask you not to come back. Now, could he have come back if he'd have changed some things? Yes, he could have, but I knew he wouldn't, and he didn't. He's dead and gone now. But long and short of this story is this right here. For myself and for my family, I had to break off that relationship abruptly. Uh, Use a lot of wisdom in this. And if you need to, you need to. But here's the thing, and I want to leave you with this. If you don't start managing the relationships in your life and making sure that those relationships are good for you, and you're good for that relationship, make that a two-way street. Become an active listener, listening to the other guy. Be interested in what he or she has going on. Be a friend, be a real friend. Be honest enough to sometimes say something that they might not like, and that happens in good friendships. And it helps if you're honest and you do it in love. And so I want to leave you with that. Try to improve who you are, first of all. And secondly, work on managing those relationships. Work on making those relationships better. And get rid of those relationships that can't go anywhere, that are not good for you. You're talking about your life. You're talking about the canvas of your life. And I would say this right here. Be careful who you let paint on the canvas of your life. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this right here. Again, I'm hoping that something I'll say will help people along the way. So we're just going to keep on going, and give us some feedback if you don't mind. Give us some comments. If you have questions, give us those questions, and let us see if we can put a video together on some of these questions and maybe help people improve their lives. All right, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sign off right now.